What is up, everybody? It's Silververse here today, and we're gonna talk about Sony giving us some updates on PlayStation Plus, on our PlayStation Plus tier list, and apparently we are getting Ubisoft Plus and Ubisoft Plus Classics, excuse me, that's being added to this list as well, to their premium tiers. And so far, it's kind of the same thing we kind of learned about already. Like we get this classic games like PSP, PS2, or PS2. PSP, PS4, which is we kind of knew about this stuff already, but like this is some of the PlayStation and PSP games, which I'm pretty sure some people are excited, but I kind of want to go all the way back to the PlayStation 1 generation. It's kind of like that's probably like the most hardest to go back to because the games look so outdated. But they're bringing those back, which you kind of already knew about already. What's this? The PlayStation, so the PS4 games, which pretty much were remastered, PS2 games as well. You can download those games, some PS4 games as well. So it's kind of like a version of Game Pass. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like same stuff you select on Game Pass. PS3 games, which they still didn't change. You still got to stream these games, which sucks. It's like that's not a good thing. You still got to stream these games. I don't want to stream games. It's kind of like the same stuff we kind of knew already. Didn't really change too much about their last announcement, but they have announced some updated games that's gonna be available to download, like Demon Souls, Red Dead Redemption 2, and more. Let's see, like a list of a few of the games. So some of the games are pretty. They're like some of these recent games, like Demon Souls remake, Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is a new one. Well, the new PS5 release. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Death Stranding Director's Cut. So they give you some newer games, which is kind of cool. But if you own these games already, it's kind of like it's not really doing anything for you. that's kind of the place I fall in. So I own a lot of these games already. All these Director's Cuts and a lot of these PS5 games. It doesn't really do anything for me, to be honest. And the trials, once again, you gotta pay for game trials, is what Sony is doing right here. And so these are going to be the first limited game trials you can get. Uncharted, the new Uncharted remaster thing they got going on. Horizon Forbidden West, Cyberpunk 2077, Farming Simulator, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and WWE 2K22. Play these games for like 2 hours. It's like I don't know. You gotta pay for the highest tier at that. I think this should be free. Like I've been saying it for long as it should be free, but Sony wants to charge you for this for some reason. It's not. I'm not getting enough of a reason to get the highest tier, to be honest. Just to pay for some demos or some trials. I'm not seeing a reason to get the highest tier, to be honest. Ubisoft Plus Classics is being added to as well, like I mentioned before. So you can play all the older classic Ubisoft games like the Far Cry series, the South Park games. So this is pretty good stuff right here. All these games right here, The Division. But this still isn't like making me want to like jump for joy and sign up for their highest tier. I'm still probably gonna get the most basic one, the basic tier possible. So. Yeah, this doesn't really do anything for me, to be honest. I'm pretty sure this probably is good for some people, but this doesn't really do anything for me. I'd rather just stick with Game Pass, to be honest. A lot of these games have been on Game Pass too, besides except for the PlayStation exclusives, a lot of stuff has been on Game Pass already. So kind of like stuff you got already, or probably stuff you already own already at this point. So I don't know. It seems like Game Pass just gives you more bang for your buck, to be honest, but. This is PlayStation's equivalent of trying to compete with Game Pass. They won't give you like day and date first party stuff, but they would give you first party game trials. That's kind of a weak comparison right there, but okay, Sony. Let's see if people got to say about this. I'm trying to figure out how this is bad when you get these games. Yeah, it's great to give you these games, but like I own most of this stuff already. I'm like, if you don't own this stuff, this is amazing. If you don't own any of these games, but if you do own this stuff, like if you own the Spider-Man games, it's like, what is this really doing for you at this point? Like, who owns a PlayStation? Who's like a Marvel fan or a fan of? Who don't own the Spider-Man games already at this point? Like, I just don't see a reason to get the highest tier, especially I own a lot of these stuff already. At least with Game Pass, they actually put stuff up in there I don't own, I haven't played before, or something that's like extremely niche that most people that wouldn't have experienced before. So Like the Danganronpa games. I never played those games before because they're so niche, but these games are kind of like common games, like Red Dead Redemption 2. Who hasn't played that game already? Okay, the only game I haven't played that's on here is like Returnal. I was like, at this point, I could just buy it for like 30 or 40 bucks on eBay at this point. So, let's see. I really don't see what's so bad about it. This looks extremely promising. We still talking about Red Dead Redemption. This has been on Xbox for the longest. You can buy this game on Xbox for the longest, but they're just not getting it. Okay. This has to be someone at PlayStation that's trying to take them down from the inside. Holy us. The issue is they want to compete with Game Pass, but they're copying Nintendo Online. It is so weird. Yeah. They gotta get some more third party, like third party studios day and date, because this is like what this guy says. Holy mediocrity. What the hell? This is definitely mediocre. This is only good if you don't own those games, like those major games that came out. This is the only time this is actually a good deal. But if you own a lot of these games, especially like the PS5 exclusive stuff, then it's like this doesn't do anything. And they still didn't change the whole streaming situation, so that makes it even worse. They still got to stream PS3 games, which is like, I mainly want to play PS3 games, but I'm not going to stream these games, so. Let's see. Now this is so good, and just the start of what is coming soon. Yeah, the good thing about this is just the beginning, so it can get better over time, but it's just like what he says going on. Just a little sad that the PS3 games is still streaming only, but oh well. PlayStation gamers have to wait for something that shouldn't have been free to begin with online as well. Doesn't PS Now grant more for less? Let's see. This is underwhelming. Pretty sure they promised 300 plus legacy games. The PS1 list is disappointing, seriously. Yeah, why is it only like 10 games so far? So like 10 games. Like, how hard is it to put these PS1 games on a PS5 to make you just download those games? How hard is it really? I'm like, they got emulators to do the same thing. Like, people can make you download emulators. Like, well, I don't know why it's so difficult for these people to do, but apparently they're taking their sweet old time with these old games. These old games. I don't know why, but they're just ain't no way. Gonna need to be a much better classic list than that before I get excited. That's extremely underwhelming to say the least. So a lot of people are not even too excited about this. This is not a good news. It's not good news right here. Just announced a new update to your service, and people are really not excited about it. And these aren't even just like all Xbox guys just trashing it. It's just people who are just saying, gamers in general just saying like extremely mid. Okay, so somebody says he's impressed. Okay. Not very worth it, but cool. Massive L. There's not a single game on the list that with any hype in 2022. Honestly, real disappointing lineup. Yeah, they add new ones, but we all hate the Nintendo model at this point. This is basically just Sony mimicking it. No new PS2 games, majorly sucks. I was looking forward to that catalog the most. This is way worse than I expected, and I expected it to be bad. This is not a good look right here. People saying this is horrible, and I kind of gotta agree with them. I gotta be honest, this list is pretty underwhelming. Sure, there's some classics, but right now it doesn't look like it's worth the price. I'll wait until it gets better to see if it has more value. I'm kind of not saying boat as well. I'll wait it out to see when they start getting some good stuff up in there, but this just looks pretty mediocre at this point. And the only real selling factor is like the game trials. Playing for demos is like the real selling factor they got here. Imagine launching this service without Ridge Racer Type 4. What a miss. Okay. The whole selection is actually dire. I wasn't expecting much, but it's somehow worse. Maybe I had very high expectations, but that PS1 list is embarrassing. Yeah, this is not a good look. OS, people are gonna complain to no end, lol. I think people are just disappointed with what they just shown so far. It's like, it's not like compelling me to want to get the highest tier. I don't think most people are getting compelled to pay the highest amount for this at this point. Okay, so this guy says the extra tier looks real nice. If I had a PS5 I won't lie, but the third tier at $120 a year for what? For that? Everyone who has stocked was smart in this moment. Okay. Where's the Resistance, Killzone, and Sly Cooper games? Let's look at the quote tweets now, because people are not happy about this. No Spyro, no Crash, not even Resident Evil, Tekken 3, or Dino Crisis. Yeah, a lot of people are not happy about those. Looks at PS3 section, a Little Big Planet. Kind of trash as expected, I guess. So yeah, people are not feeling us. Underwhelming for a service that has come out swinging. That said, I wasn't thrilled about the start lineup for Game Pass either. All I want is the ability to buy all these games on the PlayStation Store separately. It also add PS3 games via download digital. Yeah, they need to do. Why don't they just do that? Why can't they just do that? Like, I would love to play PS3 games, but I want to download those games to my system. I'll pay for them separately. I was like, why can't they just allow you to just download those games? They want you to do this streaming nonsense. Let's see. Launching without a single non-remastered PS2 game is a choice. Can game streaming die already? Very impressive that PlayStation was able to make Nintendo Switch Online lineup of games looks better somehow. Wow, they're saying Nintendo Switch Online is better than us. You do not want to open your new service when people have this type of remarks about your new service. This is not a good look for PlayStation. Jeez. I nearly spit out my coffee when I saw they had Enslaved on the list specifically for streaming. That's one of the worst performing games on PS3 by a large margin as it is. Add streaming into the mix, and good lord. That game was actually pretty fun. I actually played that when I first got my gaming PC. That game was really fun. But yeah, I'd rather say the game doesn't run well on PS3, so the streaming is probably going to be even worse at that point. I see this as a potential win for Sony. It's going to depend on what they all continue to add to the catalog, particularly the classics. Yeah. They barely have any classics. I am throwing up. Yeah, so I'm going to conclude it right here. People are not happy with this. It's like rightfully so. This, like I said before, the only real major selling point is that they're doing the whole game trials, which is not really that big of a selling point that you're paying for these trials, and also that you're getting like a lot of these PS5 games when you get the highest tier of the service been added to it. So other than that, it's pretty mediocre. It's extremely mediocre. You got Ubisoft stuff, which is kind of cool, but it's kind of mediocre at this point. So definitely want to see your thoughts about this. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and peace.